friends, today we are working with clay and we are making an easy owl. So we're starting with a lump of clay. It's kind of in the shape of a ball and we're just gonna roll it out and we're gonna actually flatten it, but we want it to be round. So if you need to, you can roll it around in your hands first to make sure that it's nice and round. And then we're gonna start to work it out and flatten it into an even circle. And when I say even, I mean that we want it to be the same thickness pretty much as we're going through it. So you don't want the middle to be thicker than the edges. So now that I have it starting to flatten out, I'm going to put it down and just keep pushing it. Flip it over. I'm just pushing it down, working my way from the middle out to the edges, smushing it down because I want it thinner than this. Okay. It's one of those tricky things. We don't want it too thin because we don't want it to crack, but we don't want it too thick either because you'll see why in a little bit. When we make the wings, it'll be easier if it's just a little bit thinner. So see how I have pretty much a nice circle here. I'm just gonna keep working that clay. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over again. Make sure it's tightly packed in here. We're using air dry clay, so we will not have to fire this or bake it. It's just going to dry on its own in a few days. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this thickness. I'm going to hold it up in a second just to show it to you. Okay, you see the thickness there? And by the way, I have it on parchment paper so that it doesn't stick. Okay, I'll flip it over again. All righty. Now I want my edges to be nice and smooth, so I'm just going to take my finger and dip it in a little bit of water, just a little, so that I can make it smooth. Just gonna rub that along the edges. Make it nice and smooth. Don't want too much here. Because then it'll get too messy. Okay. Just smoothing out any little creases that I see. And I'm really not pushing too hard either. Just kind of gently smoothing out any creases. I have one more over here. Okay, so now look how smooth it is now. Okay, so for this project, I am using a marker. I'm just going to be using this as a tool, the cap of it. Looks like I have oil pastel stuck in my nail. Oopsie. Okay, so I'm taking this cap and I'm going to use it to make like the shape of a U over and over and over. So we don't need to go to the very top, probably like the middle. And I'm just going to push it in and I'm going to get a U shape. See that? Let's see if I can move it closer to show you. There's my U shape. Then I'm going to put the cap next to it again, right here, and push. You don't have to push too deep, okay? Just slightly making this U shape. I'm going to try and go in a straight line. Do your best. Over and over and over, like that. Okay. So like I said, you don't want to push too deep or else you don't want to make a hole in it, and you want it to be easy to pull out. Okay. So now we're going to do that again underneath. And I like mine to be a little bit staggered. It's okay if yours are directly underneath it, but the next one I'm going to move over a little bit like that so that it's not exactly underneath it. This, you'll see, it's going to be the belly of our owl. So now we have 2 rows. Okay, now we're going to work on the next one. And again, like I said, I'm trying to make them staggered. So this one is kind of in the middle. Oh, it kind of looks like a happy face. Just gently pushing. Like that. Okay, I'm not finished. We've got to keep going. See how I kind of put my finger here so it doesn't lift up too much with my other hand. And you could even wipe off the cap if you need to. Okay. And I want to keep going until I get to the bottom here. There. So now I've made it all the way to the bottom. Okay, so good job with that step. You can always pause this if you need to. Take your time. I want you to be happy with it before we move on. Then we're going to take the sides here and we're going to fold it. So I'll show you that. I'm going to take it from the middle here and we're just going to roll it up. Be careful with it. We're trying to make the wings like that. And then I'm going to fold the other side so that they meet in the middle. Okay, see that? Now they've kind of met in the middle. I am going to pinch this a little. Okay, push it down now that I'm happy with my wings. Okay. And I'm going to take a little bit of water here. Same thing we did before. And I just want to smooth this out. Just using my finger. A little bit of water. And you'll be able to see how much nicer this side looks than this side. I don't have to smooth out up there really because we're going to be flipping it over. So I won't give you extra work. You can just stop right over here. Make sure you get the sides too. Okay, so that's pretty smooth. This side needs a little bit more. Anywhere you see little cracks. Okay. And now we're going to take the top of it. Okay, so we took the top, folded it over, and then we're pinching and rounding out until we get pointy ears, okay? You're going to need some water here to smooth it out again. And I want to make it smooth on the sides. And also on the top. Okay, so we're just gonna take a little water and we're gonna smooth that out too. Remember, anytime you can pause it. Okay. Once you're happy with how smooth it is and the way your owl is shaped, then you're going to take your marker again and we're going to make, because owls have big eyes. So right here, I'm going to push down to make a full circle. Don't have to push too hard. So there's one. And then I'm going to push down again. I'm going to try and make them spaced out evenly. And you can push your other two fingers down to pull it out. So then we have our two eyes. So cute. Okay, then I'm going to take the point of my marker and I'm just going to push in the middle. Okay, we're going to paint them later, so it doesn't really matter what color you use now. But I pushed in the middle there to make those cute little eyes. Okay, and then we're going to make the beak. So for the beak, I'm going to use the edge here just to draw the little line on both sides. So it almost looks like a triangle. Okay. And then you can just take a little water anywhere you had pushed down earlier and smooth it out. I kind of touched on the forehead a little. Now for the feathers here, because we have the nice belly looking feathers, but if you want, this is optional, you can take the edge here, I'll wet it a little bit, and I'm just going to make some little lines on a diagonal just to give it a little interest. Okay. It's optional, you don't have to do it if you like it flat and plain, but I thought that would be kind of cute. So now what we're going to do with our owl, we're going to let it dry. And once it's totally dry, we have to give it a few days. We have to be patient. Once it's dry, we can actually paint it. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that beak is pointy. So cute. Okay, so we just have to be patient, leave it on its parchment paper for a few days, and then once it is nice and dry, we can paint and decorate them. I hope you had fun with this today. See you next time. Bye.